All right, so this is the Tools, 3D Tools 6 Patterns and Mirror activity. So we're going to make 3 objects. First, we're going to do a Rubik's Cube, which is pretty awesome. Doesn't actually work, but it looks like it does. A gear, and then a Lego. So all 3 of these are pretty easy. We can do them all using the pattern tools and mirror. So this first one is the Rubik's Cube. So I'm going to open up Inventor, start a sketch, and this one you can kind of go on whatever plane suits your, kind of floats your boat. I'm going to use the 2 points in a rectangle and make a cube that is 1 inch by 1 inch, enter, and hit finish and extrude it to be 1 inch. Nice, so I've got a 1 by 1 by 1 cube. And now I'm going to round all of the corners and edges so that it has a radius of 0.05 using the fillet tool. So the fillet tool is up here, right there. Before I kind of click anything, I'm going to highlight this and turn it to 0.05. And then I'm going to highlight by clicking and dragging over everything like that. I will get it all and click OK. Perfect. So now I'm going to use my mirror tool, which is located up here, to make multiple copies of this. So first thing, you've got this right here, which is mirroring individual features, and this, which means mirroring solids. So on this one, we want to do the solid. Here's how I click this to define the plane I want to go across, and I want this one. Give me a wireframe example like that. I'll click OK. Alright, so now I'm going to do that again. Mirror tool. But this time I'm going to do features, because if I do body and I click here, all of it will get highlighted. So I just want a part of it. Alright, so I had to pause there for a second. So we're going to use this cube, and we're going to, instead of mirroring the solids, I want just the features, so I can select just one, otherwise we're going to get 4 of them. So I'm going to click here, voila, I'll click OK. Do the same process going across the other way, so I'm going to do body on this one so I can get all of them. Oops, wrong one. Mirror tool is what I meant. Mirror tool, body, mirror plane right here. Perfect. Mirror tool, and this one I'm going to do feature and just use just that one. Mirror plane right here. OK. Let's go mirror again. Body, the whole thing. Mirror plane right there. Perfect. And then one more time and I'll be ready. Use features and just this one. Mirror plane right there. And OK. Cool. It's a lot of clicking and kind of a back and forth between feature and body, but that's how you do it. OK. So now if I wanted to change the color on here, if I click and hold the Shift key, I can highlight multiple faces. So it's that one. Hey, come here. And that. Then I can go up here and I can change it to whatever color I want. So if I wanted to go to red, I could do that. It's kind of cool. Click check. I wanted to change this one to like blue or something. Do that. So I'm going to go here and change that to this part. Whoop. All the way over to green. Oh, well, I said blue, but oh, it's green. So I'll click OK. I just cleared it. Didn't mean to do that. Check. All right, there we go. Cool. So here would be a Rubik's Cube. So I can go right here to Part, right-click, My Properties, Physical. Then when I click Update, the answer will be right there. It'll give you the volume. And just as a hint, it should be close to 27. A little bit less, actually, because if you think about it, 27 cubes that are an inch cubed should make, a 3 by 3 by 3 should be 27. Anyway, 3 cubed is 27. All right, so let's move on to the next one, which is the gear. So the gear looks like this guy right here. So we've got this gear, and we're going to do 2 different circular patterns on this one. So we're going to do first a pattern for the teeth, and then second a pattern for the holes. And I could use the pattern in the sketch itself, but I'm going to use the solid on this one just to kind of show you that there's more than one approach to it. So I'll go File, New, Standard IPT, Create. I'll click here, and I believe it has an inner diameter of 0.25, an outer diameter of 1 by that. Yep. And then I'm going to put a tooth up here, just one. And I'm going to use the center point rectangle, which is the third one down under the rectangle tool. I'm going to click right there, so that is right where I want it. I'm going to make this 0.2 tall and 0.1 wide. So I did make that overlap just a little bit on purpose, because if I made a tangent at one point, you'd have a little area right here and right here that doesn't quite overlap. So I just extended it down to make it simple. Okay, so that's good. I can use my vertical constraint to make sure, or actually that one, to make sure this doesn't go out of whack. So everything's black. It makes it fully constrained, so it's good. So I have finish sketch and extrude, and I can just highlight the whole thing and then hold the shift key and deselect that middle circle. And I can go a 1/4 of an inch for the extrusion, I believe. Yeah, right there, 1/4 of an inch. Click OK. And now I can use the circular pattern tool. So go circular pattern. I'll click this whole body. And then for the rotational axis, I can either use an axis from the origin folder, or I can select a rounded surface that also goes around the origin axis. I'll click there.
I have a question for you.
Okay, sorry. Working with other teachers. So let's make this 18, I believe. No, 16. 16 teeth. And I'll click OK. And it looks like that. Very good. Let me just verify that was actually 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 16. And then I'm going to use this circle. I'm going to extrude through and put a hole that is 0.125 and 0.3 from the center. So I'll go Start 2D Sketch, click here, circle like this, 0.125, so it's 1/8 of an inch. Enter. And then from the center, it is 0.3. And again, I'm going to use my constraint tool, just a horizontal constraint on this one, because mine's turned sideways. It might be vertical for yours, but mine's horizontal. And I'll click Finish, and extrude. And I'm going to just do through all like that for the cut. Through all. Click OK. So now I've got this one-eyed gear. So I got to, make a pattern to make that go around. So I'm going to click on just this feature, rotational axis, right here. And I think it was 8 is the correct number. It is. So click 8, click OK, and there it is, my gear. So I can right click on part, hit Eye Properties, Physical, and then Update, and then check the volume right there and enter it. Okay, very good. Love it. So now we're going to the fun one. So File, New, Standard Part, Create, and this one is the Lego. So I'm going to check the dimensions in here. Looks like its overall is 4 inches long, 2 inches deep, and then 1.5 inches tall. So I'm going to start with just that shape first. So I go Start 2D Sketch, and use my ground plane and work my way up. And I'm going to turn this so it's not sideways. Good. I'm going to make this 4 inches long, or I guess wide in this case, and then 2 inches deep. I'll say Finish. There's that. I'm going to extrude this up 1.5 inches. Perfect. There's my kind of the base. So now I'm going to put these little studs on the top. I need 8 of them. So rather than draw 8 of those, I'm going to make a rectangular pattern so that I don't have to do this so many times. So I just need 1 of them first, and it has a diameter of 0.625, and it's 1/2 inch from both of the edges. So I'm going to Start 2D Sketch, and I can either use one down here, 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 just in any of the corners. Doesn't really matter as long as you're consistent. I'm going to type in 0.625. Awesome, mine's a little bit too big. Too close to the edge. So I'm going to, oh dear, dimension from the center mark to the edge. Make sure that's 0.5. Same thing in the other direction. 0.5, enter. And there it goes. Looks good. So I'll say Finish Sketch. I'm going to extrude that 0.25. And once I've got that, I can just hit OK. And then we'll go to the rectangular pattern. Okay, sorry, lots of teacher meetings. So we've got this stud here on the top, and I am going to use the rectangular pattern, which is next to mirror. I'm going to click just that feature, and I'm going to define direction 1 and direction 2, so two different directions at the same time. So for direction 1, I'm going to click this red arrow. I'm going to use either of these edges right here. Notice my preview is coming downward. I need to flip it, so it goes up. And then I'll do the same thing up here with direction 2, but I'm going to click this edge. It's going the wrong way, so I can flip it with that. And notice I've got half of it working right. I've got 2 rows and 2 columns, but I need to have 4 columns. So in this one, I'm going to change this 2 into 4. Just as for future reference, if you ever wanted to change the spacing, that's right here on either of these. If I wanted to make this like 1.5, I could do that. You can see that's not actually what I want for the Lego, so I just want 1. And click OK. And there's that. So I've got the top half all taken care of. Now I got to go underneath. So I'm going to go and hollow this out. And if you remember right, I'm using the shell tool to hollow things. So I'm going to click this bottom surface, and it'll give you this preview where everything's hollowed out. I'll click OK. Awesome. So now last-ish step is getting the little tubes on the bottom. So I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to use this center point right there. And the outer is 0.75. And then I'm going to make an inner circle that is 0.55. Enter. And I'll click Finish. So now I've got that sketch, and I need to extrude this to that surface. So I'm going to go Extrude, kind of zoom in so I can click just this ring area, just that. And over here for the extrusions, I'm going to say this one for distance. Use 2. And I'll click this kind of bottom edge. And what that does is it automatically snaps to be coplanar. So it's on the same plane. I'll click OK. Alright, now I'm going to use the rectangle tool one more time. I'm going to click just this feature we created. And for direction 1, I'm going to click this edge. For direction 2, I'll click the opposite edge. So then I'm going in 2 different directions. I actually have 2 column directions instead of a column in a row. And, sorry, a little yawn there. That looks about right. So click OK. And voila, I've made a Lego. Looks very good. So I can right click on the part, Properties, Physical, and then Update, and that will give me the volume right there, and I can enter it. Okay, and that is the whole assignment.